the upper vestibule. The walls of the main staircase are hung with ancestral portraits representing members of the Hallwyl family and the Imhoff family. The portraits are in fact copies made in 1919 to 1920 by the Countess's favorite artist Julius Kronberg, who worked throughout the house. The original portraits were subsequently sent back to Switzerland. On the north wall, to the left of the doors leading to the dining room, are 4 portraits in oval frames showing the Count, bottom right, and the Countess, bottom left, as newlyweds in 1865, as well as the Countess's parents, Wilhelm Kemp, top right, and Johanna Kemp, née Wallis, top left. The dining room. The early Baroque-style dining room was designed by one of I.G. Claesson's assisting architects, Ragnar Östberg, who in later years was to gain international fame as the architect of Stockholm City Hall. The room is completely panelled in oak, partly black bog oak. The dining room. The early Baroque-style dining room was designed by one of I.G. Claesson's assisting architects, Ragnar Östberg, who in later years was to gain international fame as the architect of Stockholm City Hall. The room is completely panelled in oak, partly black bog oak. Over the double doors is the Hallwyl coat of arms, 2 eagle's wings set against a gold background. The family motto was "Swift like the eagle and pure as gold." The overmantel was painted by Julius Kronberg in 1896 and represents Diana the Huntress. The magnificent chandelier dates from 1673 and hung originally in Hedvig Eleonora Church in Stockholm. The Countess bought it at auction in 1893 and had it converted for electricity. The morning room. The morning room would have been in daily use. This is where the Countess received callers and attended to her correspondence. There are a number of family portraits painted by Julius Kronberg in the 1890s. To the left of the doors leading to the armory is the Count. Over the mantelpiece, the eldest daughter, Ebba von Eckermann, and to the left of the doors to the great drawing room, the second daughter, Ellen de Marais. The Countess's dowager mother, Mrs. Kemp, can be seen in a portrait to the right of the doors to the vestibule. Other portraits in the room of grandchildren, great-grandchildren and sons-in-law were painted by Nils Asplund in the 1910s and 1920s. The ceiling was painted by Julius Kronberg in 1918. It was to be his last major work. The scene is from Greek mythology, Perseus liberating Andromeda. The splendid chandelier in the Empire style and made in France circa 1820. The armory. The armory contains the main part of the Countess's wide-ranging collection of antique weapons and armor. The room is panelled largely in oak, and the parquet floor has inlaid work forming the signs of the zodiac. On the east wall hangs 2 Ottoman suits of armor dating from the billiard room. The billiard room, in Renaissance Baroque style, has high-quality walnut paneling and a deeply coffered ceiling with pendants. The paneling features carved shields with the heraldic emblems of women married into the Hallwyl family through the centuries. The 4 decorative panels over the bench seat represent the cardinal virtues. The wall coverings above the paneling are gilt and embossed leather, dating probably from the late 17th century. On the east wall, facing the windows, is a painting, Pomona, by Franz Floris, dated 1564. It was brought to Sweden as war booty from Prague. The porcelain room. This small, purpose-built room is devoted to the collection of European porcelain. The collection consists of more than 500 pieces, and nearly every leading 18th and early 19th century maker is represented, including Meissen, Sèvres and Wedgwood. The Meissen equestrian figure on the central table, the Empress Elizabeth of Russia on horseback, was modelled by Johann Joachim Kendler in 1748. The room is panelled in maple with gilt bronze metalwork and has an elaborate inlaid floor of different coloured woods. The ceiling was painted by Nils Asplund, a pupil of Julius Kronberg, in emulation of ceilings at Tessin House in Stockholm, built in the 1690s. The smoking room. The male domain in the house consists of 3 rooms: smoking room, armory and billiard room. The smoking room was, in fact, also used as a family sitting room, where the count, the countess and her companion, a German lady, Fräulein Use, would have coffee after dinner and play a hand of cards. By the window is the count's writing desk, preserved as it was in 1921, the year of his death at the age of 82. The waste paper basket still has its contents. The Great Drawing Room. The principal reception room in the house, the Great Drawing Room was not used on a daily basis, but provided a sumptuous setting for festive occasions, such as dinner parties, musical evenings and balls. The room, in exuberant late Baroque style, was designed to accommodate the 16th century Brussels tapestries depicting Ulysses and Nausicaa. Remarkably, the Countess was able to acquire a complete set of 6 of these tapestries in 1894. The remaining 2 can be seen in the small drawing room. The artist Julius Kronberg, who contributed to nearly every room on the principal floor, painted an open-air concert for the central panel of the ceiling in 1898. The boudoir. The social purpose of this room, also known as the small drawing room, was that of a withdrawing room, where the ladies could retire after a formal dinner. Hence the style of the room. The curvaceous Rococo style was in the late 19th century considered particularly feminine and suitable for elegant drawing rooms. Largely panelled in elm, the room is closely based on a 1760s interior in the manor house at Äs, south of Stockholm, one of the family's many...